Right, now take this question. Again, look at this question carefully. This is also a non-homogeneous system of equations. So when this is a non-homogeneous system of equations, we can see whether it has a solution or not. When it has a solution, we can also find it. Right, so for all to verify all this, we need to first write its matrix form. So if you write its matrix form, see what equations you have. See, the first equation is x plus y plus z is equals to 6. So if you write all its coefficients, coefficients of all the unknowns from this equation, we'll get them like this. You see 1, 1, 1. Then the second row, it is 1, 2, 3 coefficients from the second equation. Then 1, 4, and 7. Now see, these are the coefficients from all the unknowns in these equations. That's a coefficient matrix. Now see, if you write matrix X, a solution vector, see the unknowns are X, Y, and Z. Next, similarly, if you write the right hand side vector, see it is 6, 14, and 30. Now see, this is your matrix form. If you recall what we did in the last case, after writing the matrix form, we usually write what you call the augmented matrix. In fact, the idea is to find out the ranks of matrix A and AB, correct? So to find out the ranks of those two, I'm just writing what you call the augmented matrix. So if you write its augmented matrix, it is AB is equals to, see how much it is. I'm just writing what is matrix A first. Then as a next fourth column here, we can write matrix B. So this is matrix A. And now I'm writing matrix A, matrix B here, this right hand side values, 6, 14, and 30. So this is your augmented matrix. Now, to find out the ranks of A and augmented matrix, we need to reduce this into what you call its echelon form. So let us reduce this into its echelon form by taking certain row operations like this. You see, R2 changes to R2 minus R1. And along with this, we can take one more operation, R3 changes to, because in R3 also there is a 1, it is R3 minus R1. Now see, because of these operations, we'll get the new matrix like this. First row, we are actually not changing this. And then see, second row, R2 minus R1, 1 minus 1, 0. Then 2 minus 1, it is 1. Then here it is 3 minus 1. See, 3 minus 1, again, it is 2. Then 14 minus 6, we'll get this as 8. Next third row, R3 minus R1, 1 minus 1, 0. Then 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1, it is 3. And 7 minus 1, it is 6. And here it is 30 minus 6, 24. So this is the new matrix after making these operations. Now see, we need to reduce this into its echelon form. So using this second row, second column 1, using this element, we need to make this 3 in the third row as a 0, right? So how can we make this 3 as a 0? Using this row operation, see. Right? How can we make this? You see, R3 changes to R3 minus 3R2. I'm just allowing you to unmute. Somebody have a question, it seems. Anything wrong? All right. Then see, I'm just continuing this. 1, 1, 1, 6, 0, 1, 2, 8. And then see how much you are getting here. It is 0 minus 0. Then 3 minus 3, 0. 6 minus, see, when you multiply R2 with 3, we'll get 2 into 3. See, 6 minus 6, 0. And see here, luckily, we are getting the next element as also 0. 8 times 3, it is 24, 24 minus 24, it is 0. We'll get this completely as zeros. Right? Now see, we got now what you call the required echelon form. Since since we got echelon form, now from this we can write what you call the ranks of matrix A and AB. Now look at all this matrix and try to tell me what is the rank of augmented matrix. Right? You are allowed to unmute yourselves. You can tell me how much is the rank of augmented matrix here. The total matrix, look at it and see how many non-zero rows are there. Since there are exactly 2 non-zero rows, rank of AB is 2. Next, now ignore this last row, completely ignore this last column. By ignoring the last column, you can see the remaining is matrix A only. So if you look at only matrix A, see how much is the rank of A? Even in matrix A, see by ignoring this last column, you can see there are exactly 2 non-zero rows. Since there are 2 non-zero rows, now even rank of A is also 2. Right? So that's how you can calculate the ranks of A and AB matrix. Now, since these two are equal, we can just conclude here at this moment. We can say rank of A is equals to rank of AB. Therefore, the system is consistent. See, this is what you're asked to show it, right? So the system is consistent. Now, when the system is consistent, there may be a single solution or there may be infinitely many number of solutions. And how to verify that? We need to verify this rank, whatever you got here, this with the number of unknowns. See, then how many unknowns are there? The number of unknowns.
3.
Yeah, there are 3 unknowns, X, Y, Z. So therefore, the number of unknowns in the given system, they are exactly 3. But see, if you now compare these two, we got actually rank of A and rank of B as same, and this rank is actually 2, but it is less than the number of unknowns. Since the rank is less than the number of unknowns, we'll get infinitely many number of solutions. Therefore, the system has infinitely many number of solutions. Now we need to find out all these solutions, right? Look at it how it is. And understand again, when you have an equation, from this equation, we can write the augmented matrix. By taking all the coefficients, we can write augmented matrix from the given system. And this matrix, augmented matrix, is reduced to a new form. So when you can write augmented matrix from the system, can't we write equations back from the augmented matrix? We can. So from this, you see, in fact, again, these are all the coefficients of unknowns only. So from this, if you can write again the equations, I mean the system of equations, see what you have from the first row here in this reduced augmented matrix, these 3, 1, 1, 1, they are the coefficients of unknowns X, Y, Z. So the first equation you'll get is X plus Y plus Z is equals to 6. Now from the second equation, you see 0 into X, see the first unknown is 0. First coefficient is 0, which means coefficient of first unknown is 0. So 0 into X, anyway it is 0, I'm not writing. Then 1 into Y, so it is second one Y plus 2 into Z, Y plus 2Z is equals to 8. Then see, if you look at the third row, all the coefficients of unknowns are zeros. So what you get? 0 into X plus 0 into Y plus 0 into Z, everything is 0. And even on the right hand side, it is a 0. Correct? So it's not necessary to write 0 is equal to 0. It's meaningless, right? So I'm just ignoring this last one now. So what you got here, you see, finally, you got exactly 2 equations, but there are 3 unknowns. So finally, after writing the new set of equations, you got only 2 equations, but there are 3 unknowns. Normally what happens, you see, when there are 2 equations, you expect only 2 unknowns. Then only we say the system is balanced. Correct? When you have 2 equations, there must be 2 unknowns only. But see here, there are 3 unknowns. When you have an extra unknown, look at it carefully. When you have an extra unknown, we need to take that extra unknown as arbitrary, right? So one unknown is extra. We are simply saying one unknown is extra, but we are not confirming that this unknown particularly is extra. So you may take any unknown as extra, and you can take that extra unknown as arbitrary. So here, by choice, I'm taking Z is equals to K. This K is an arbitrary value. That K is an arbitrary value. I mean, you can take any value for K. You can take infinite number of values for K. Any real number is okay, right? Now, if you take Z is equals to K, again, I'm now going by back substitution. If I substitute the value of z in the second equation here, what happens to y? Can you expect? If you take z is equals to k from this, you can write the value of y as, if you can send 2z to the other side, it is 8 minus 2z, which is 8 minus 2k. Then if you can substitute these two values of y and z in the first equation, and from first equation, you will get x like this, 6 minus y. Y is 8 minus 2k. See what you have here? You need to send y and z both to the other side, 6 minus y minus z. So I have written y minus z is k. So if you can simplify this, we'll get x is equal to, see how much you'll get here, 6 minus 8. 6 minus 8 is minus 2. Then minus of this minus 2k plus 2k minus k. So when it is 2k minus k, we'll get it as k. So that's the value of x. So therefore, the solution for the given system, capital X, is equals to, see how much it is, x is minus 2 plus k, then y, it is 8 minus 2k, and z, it is k. So this is the solution of system of equations where k takes any real number. So right, you can ask me then, where are the infinite number of solutions? We said a few minutes ago, we said there are infinitely many solutions, but I'm showing you only one solution. Where are the infinitely many number of solutions? You will get different set of solutions for different values of k. In case if you take k is equals to 0, when you take k is equal to 0, then you will get x is equals to minus 8, 2, minus 2 and 8 and 0. This is one solution. If you take k is equals to 1, if you take k is equal to 1, then corresponding to that, you will get some other set of values for x, y, z. So for different values of k like this, you will get different number of solutions. And each solution, whatever you are getting, it satisfies the given system of equations. So that's how you are saying all these set of values for capital X, they're all solutions of the given system of equations. And that's how we can say the system possesses infinitely many number of solutions. Right? So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Right, now let's take this question. Now we need to find the values of lambda and mu for which this system will get no solution. And for what values of lambda and mu, this system gives a unique solution. And for what values of lambda and mu, this system may give us what you call infinitely many number of solutions. Right, let's just try to solve it one after the other. But before getting all these cases, normally what we do, we try to take what you call its matrix form. Right, let's take again, as usually, matrix form from this system of equations. So how much it is? 1, 1, 1, matrix A, first row. Then the second row, it is 1, 2, 3. And now the third row, it is 1, 2, lambda. This is matrix A. Then the solution vector, matrix X, it is X, Y, Z. And then see the right hand side values, 6, 10, mu. Right? Now see, this is the matrix form. I'm just taking the values of lambda and mu as they are. I'm not changing them anyway. Next, from this matrix form, what we do normally to find out the system of solutions, we then take what you call the augmented matrix. So let me again take the augmented matrix as usually. I'm just proceeding in a very similar way. The augmented matrix is, see how much it is, A, B is equals to, I'm just writing the augmented matrix as usually, it is 1, 1, 1, 6, then 1, 2, 3, 10, then 1, 2, lambda, mu. Now see, this is what you call augmented matrix. Now see, we have the augmented matrix with you. We need to now reduce that into its what you call echelon form. So now let's use fewer operations to reduce this into its echelon form. So I'm using these operations. R2 changes to R2 minus R1. Then R3 changes to, because even in R3 we have what you call 1 there, right? So to make that as 0, R3 changes to R3 minus R1. Now see, with these operations, what you get here, the new matrix. First row you're actually not changing, so it remains as it is. Then the second row, 1 minus 1, 0, 2 minus 1, 1, then 3 minus 1, 2, and 10 minus 6, actually it is 4. Next, the third row, 1 minus 1, 0, 2 minus 1, 1. See here, lambda minus 1. So let me write it as lambda minus 1. And the last row, it is mu, last element, it is mu minus 6. R3 minus R1. Right? So still we see we didn't get what you call the echelon form. Now using this second row, second column 1, I'll make the 1 in the next column as a 0. Right? Next element, next row as a 0. So that can be done with this operation, right? R3 changes to R3 minus R2. Now with this operation, you'll get now this 1, 1, 1, 6. Then second row, you're actually now not changing. So it remains as it is. Now in the third row, what you get here, you see 0 minus 0, then 1 minus 1, 0. And see here it is lambda minus 1, minus 2. In the second row, it is minus 2. So lambda minus 1, minus 2, which is lambda minus 3. Next, what about this? It is mu minus 6 already, and then you are taking R2, right? So mu minus 6 minus, in R2, you have a 4. So mu minus 6 minus 4, you see, it is mu minus 10. So that's how we'll get the new augmented matrix. Now, see, this is the augmented matrix. That is in echelon form. Now, from this echelon form, we'll take different cases to get, as it is asked in the question, we may get no solution, or we may get a unique solution. We may get infinitely many number of solutions. Recall in which case we'll get no solution. There you are then, right? What are the possibilities to get no solutions? In which case, in which form you find the echelon form, we get what you call this no solution. To get no solution, see, I'm just taking all the 3 elements as they are. These 2 rows, 0, 1, 2, 4. Now see here you have 0, 0, and these 2 are the questions now. Now see, to get no solution, as per our method, the ranks must not be equal. When the rank of A and rank of AB are not equal, then the system will have no solution. See, in what case we'll get these 2 ranks as different. They are the values of lambda and mu, for which the system gives us no solution. To get no solution, we don't want the ranks to be equal. They must be different. So in which case the ranks may be different. See, itla jaragochu. If this is also 0 and if this is not equal to 0.
Right? Lambda equals to 3 and mu not equals to 10.
Let's see. Now see, in case if you have a 0 and a not equal to the non-zero value here in the last element, then what happened to the rank of AB? If this is not equal to 0 in the 4th row last element, then if you look at all the matrix as it is, rank of AB, which is number of non-zero rows, you see, because this is a non-zero element, you have 3 non-zero rows. That's how rank of AB is 3. But if you look at only matrix A, you have ignored simply all this last column. When you ignore this last column, remaining is matrix A, but there are only 2 non-zero rows now. The third row is completely a 0 row. Since there are only 2 non-zero rows, you can say rank of A is 2. Right? Since this is 2 and that is 3, these 2 are not equal. Then the system may not have a unique solution. May not have any solution. Right? See, when can we get this element as 0 and this element as non-zero? As she said, we'll get this element as 0 from this when lambda is 3, and we'll get this as not equal to 0 when mu is not equals to 10. So that's our first case to get no solution. So they are the values of lambda and mu. I'm just writing that in the next slide, you see. Now see, the first case, to get no solution. Now see, as we discussed till now, if I take lambda is equals to 3 and mu not equals to 10. Now for these 2 values of lambda and mu, what happens to the augmented matrix? Now let us write it once. Now the augmented matrix is 1, 1, 1, 6, 0, 1, 2, 4. And in the last row, we'll get them like this, 0, 0, 0, but the last element is non-zero. See, when we write mu not equals to 10, you may take any other value, right? That's how, whatever may be the value, but somehow it is non-zero value, that is there. Right? Since this is a non-zero value, from this, we can write rank of A is equals to 2 but rank of AB is 3. Right? So therefore, you can see rank of A is not equals to rank of AB, and therefore, you can say the system has no solution. Right? So this is your first case. Now, we are expecting now a unique solution. Now, in which case we can get a unique solution for what values of lambda and mu? Can anybody expect what it may be? Let me give you an idea. To get unique solution, now see, this is your what you call, let me write here. This is your augmented matrix 1 1 1 6 0 1 2 4. These two rows are already fixed, and in fact these two elements in the third row also. Now, so these two are the questions. Now see, to get unique solution, what are the conditions? To get unique solution, rank of A must be equal to rank of AB, and along with this rank must also be equal to the number of unknowns. And number of unknowns are exactly 3 there. X, Y, Z are the unknowns. So we want this rank to be 3 now. And when can you get rank as 3? When there are exactly 3 non-zero rows. When there are 3 non-zero rows, then you can say rank is 3. So we want this third row as also non-zero, right? For what values of lambda and mu? See what you have here actually, lambda minus 3, and here it is mu minus 10. Now see, for what values of mu and 10, lambda and mu, will get 3 non-zero rows here.
Lambda not equals to 3.
What about mu then? Okay, let us see. Lambda is not equal to 3. When lambda is not equal to 3, here we'll get not equal to 0. What if mu is also not equal to 0? Only two cases, right? Mu may be is equal to 10 or not equal to 10. That's the only chance. So when mu is not equal to 10, here we'll get this element as not equal to 0. So then definitely yes. When you consider the total matrix, rank, the number of non-zero rows are, number of non-zero rows are 3, rank is 3. Fine. What if mu is equals to 10? If mu is equal to 10, here we'll get a 0. What if we get 0 here? How many number of non-zero rows are there then? Because here you have a non-zero element, even if this is 0, number of non-zero rows remain same. There are 3 only, right? So even in the last row, because you have a 0 before, because you have a non-zero before this 0, you can say that is a non-zero row, simply. So it is enough if you take lambda not equal to 3, and for any value of mu, we'll get 3 non-zero rows, right? So I'm just taking that next condition here. To get unique solution, if you take lambda not equal to 3, and for any mu, mu may be is equal to 10 or not equal to 10, I don't mind. We'll get this augmented matrix. This is 1 1 1 6. Next, second row 0 1 2 4, and third row you have 2 zeros. But when mu lambda is not equal to 3, you will get this element as not equal to 0. And here we are taking for any mu, so we make a different value. So let me take it as only mu minus 10. When you take mu is equal to 10, it becomes 0. When you take mu not equal to 10, it becomes not equal to 0. Right? So somehow, in fact, you see, because we have a non-zero element here already, I don't worry. We may have anything there, not a problem. Now, keeping this in view, what may be the rank of AB now? Rank of augmented matrix.
3.
Yeah. You need to consider the total matrix, and there are exactly 3 non-zero rows, so the rank of AB is 3. And then if you write rank of A, see, to write the rank of A, we ignore all this column completely. When you ignore all this column, we simply ignore all this column. So the remaining is only matrix A. Even in matrix A now, you have 3 non-zero rows because this is not equal to 0. Since there are 3 non-zero rows, rank of A is also equal to 3. Right? Since, see what happened, therefore, rank of A is equal to rank of AB, and even this is equal to number of unknowns. right? So number of unknowns are 3 again. Since this is equal to, these 3 are equal, you can then say the system is consistent and has a unique solution. Right, so this is how you will get unique solution. I mean, for these two values of lambda and mu, you will get a unique solution. Next, the third case what you are given is to get infinitely many solutions. Can anybody expect in what case, for what values of lambda and mu you will get infinite solutions? Right, now see, to get infinitely many solutions, this is the condition we verify normally. Rank of A must be equal to rank of AB. These two must be equal, but this rank must be less than the number of unknowns now this time. Right? Ranks must be equal, but the total rank must be less than the number of unknowns. See how many unknowns are there here? Totally 3 unknowns. So rank must be less than 3. Already there are 2 non-zero rows. We cannot modify them. There are already 2 non-zero rows. So now to get rank as less than the number of unknowns, we want this last row to be completely 0. So we are now expecting all the elements in the last row to be zeros. So for what values of lambda and mu we will get this as completely a 0 row?
3 and 10.
That's it, exactly, you are there. So in case if you take lambda is equals to 3 and mu is equals to 10, right? Then see what happens to this augmented matrix. AB is equals to, it is 1 1 1 6, then 0 1 2 4, and then the last row it is C 0 0. When you take lambda is equal to 3, this becomes 0, and if you take mu is also equal to 0, even the last element is also 0 here, right? So this is now your new augmented matrix. So from this you can now expect what are the ranks. Rank of AB, if you consider the total matrix here, it is 2. There are exactly 2 non-zero rows. So and then along with this, even if you look at only matrix A, right, by ignoring the last column, you can see even there are 2 non-zero rows. So rank of A is also equal to 2. Since these two are equal, we can then compare like this. Rank of A is equal to rank of AB, but this rank is less than the number of unknowns. Since the rank is less than the number of unknowns, we can then say the system is consistent, but infinitely many solutions. So this is how we just verify whether the given system of equations are consistent or not. If it is consistent, we can just try to find out what are the solutions. Right now, let's take this question. And now here, if you look at the question carefully, there is one more unknown, lambda. Now see, we need to find out for what values of lambda this system of equations have a solution. Remember, we need to find whether this system has a solution or not. That solution may be a single solution, or there may be infinitely many number of solutions, whatever may be the case. And see, for how many values of lambda this system has a solution, there may be one or more, right? And then we need to find out the solution in each value of, in each case, in the sense for each value of lambda. Now, as usually, as we know, whenever you are given a system of this kind, we'll always write what you call this matrix form, right? So let me just write the matrix form again, even in this case. So it is 1 1 1 the coefficients. In the second row 1 2 4. Next it is 1 4 10. Third row. Now this multiplied by, see what is this solution matrix? It is XYZ. Then it is equals to the right hand side values. They are 1 lambda and lambda square. Right now, see, this is the matrix form, and from here, as usually as we did in the previous case, I'm taking what we call the augmented matrix. So if you take its augmented matrix, as usually, as you know, it is AB, correct? So AB is equals to, see how much it is, 1 1 1. I'm just writing matrix here first, 1 2 4, then the last row 1 4 10. So this along with matrix A, we have last column as 1 lambda lambda square. Right now, this is what you call the matrix form. Now see, let us try to reduce this into what you call its echelon form. So using these operations, we can reduce that into echelon form like this. R2 changes to R2 minus R1. Then R3 changes to R3 minus R1. Now see what happens to this. First row is 1, 1, 1, 1. And the second row 1 minus 1, 0, 2 minus 1, 1, 4 minus 1, 3. And see here we'll get it as lambda minus 1. Next, third row, R3 minus R1, so it is 1 minus 1, 0, 4 minus 1, 3, then 10 minus 1, 9, and here it is lambda square minus 1. Right? Now see, still we didn't get what you call the echelon form. Now using this 1, let us make this 3 as a 0. So that's by this operation, as we know, R3 changes to R3 minus 3 times R2. Correct? So see what happens. Then the new matrix, what you get here is this 1, 1, 1. You're not actually changing first to 2 rows. So they remain as they are, lambda minus 1. See here it is 0 minus 0. Then 3 minus 0, it is 0. Then when you multiply R2 with 3, it is 9 minus 9. So even this element is also 0. But see the last element here, it is already lambda square minus 1 in R3. Minus 3 times you are multiplying R2 with 3. So it is lambda minus 1. So how much it is, you see, lambda square minus 1 minus 3 lambda, minus of minus, it becomes plus 3. So what we get here, lambda square minus 3 lambda, and see here it is 3 minus 1 plus 2. Right, see this is the echelon form we got at the end. Now look at this echelon form carefully. Now see, we need to choose certain value of lambda for which the system has a solution. To get a solution for the system, we want rank of A and rank of AB as same. Right? We want these two to be same. But if you look at, see, by chance, if you ignore this last column completely, if you ignore the last column, if you look at only matrix A, how much is the rank of matrix A? Look at it carefully. There is a 0 row. Since there is a 0 row, rank of A is exactly 2. But see, if you take this last element, if you take this element, last element as not equal to 0 by chance, if you take that as not equal to 0, we'll get the rank of augmented matrix as 3. But when it is 3, what happens? You don't have any solution, right? So to get the solution, rank of AB is also equal to 2. Rank of augmented matrix must also be 2. But in which case you will get rank as 2? Whenever this lambda square minus 3 lambda plus 2 is 0, even if this element is also 0 at the end, then rank of augmented matrix will be 2. And then you will get these two as same. Ranks of A and AB as same. Whenever those two are same, then the system will have a solution. Of course, you will get infinitely many solutions. That's a different case. But at least you are getting a single solution. Right? So now to get that solution, I'm just proceeding like this. So if lambda square minus 3 lambda plus 2 is equals to 0, then the system has a solution. Why? Because you are getting the ranks of A and AB are equal, we'll get the system has a solution. So that is solution, because in that case, rank of A and rank of AB will be equal to 2. Right? So if lambda square minus 3 lambda plus 2 is 0, what may be the values of lambda? There you are actually. We can actually write it as lambda minus 1 into lambda minus 2. So that implies we'll get the values of lambda as, let me just finish here itself. So this implies we can write the values of lambda as lambda is equals to 1 or lambda is equals to 2. Now see, these two are the values of lambda for which the given system of equations has a solution. Now, as it is asked in the question, we need to find the solution in each case. Means for both the values of lambda, we need to find a solution. Let me take them one by one quickly. If I take case 1, In case 1, I'm taking lambda is equals to 1. So when I take lambda is equals to 1, see what happens to the augmented matrix. So now the augmented matrix is this. First row is 1, 1, 1, 6. The second row, you see it is 0, 1, 3. There you have actually lambda minus 1. So when you take lambda is equal to 1, it is 1 minus 1, 0. And now the last row is completely zeros. Right? Now see, from this augmented matrix, let's back write what you call the equations. So this implies we have first equation is x plus y plus z is equals to 6. And the second equation is y, 1 into y, you see it is. So y plus 3z is equals to 0. See, as we discussed in one of the problems earlier, here we got only 2 equations, but there are 3 unknowns. So one unknown is extra here also. So since one unknown is extra, I'm taking that unknown as k. So I'm taking z is equals to k. So if I take z is equals to k, what happens to y? Since y is minus 3z, we'll get the value of y as minus 3k. So therefore, then substitute these two values of y and z in first equation, we'll get the value of x as, see, x is actually 6 minus y minus z. So 6 minus y is minus 3k minus z is k. So which is equal to, see how much it is? X is equal to 6 minus of minus is 3k. 3k minus k, you know, 6 plus 2k. So therefore, oh, I'm sorry, the last element in the first row is not 6, it is 1 actually. So since that is 1, also we'll get this as 1. Right? So hence, we'll get the solution. Finally, for in this case, the solution capital X is 1 plus 2k, y minus 3k, and z k. Now see, this is the solution in the case of lambda is equals to 1. In a very similar way, if you take the second case, when lambda is equals to 2. If you take lambda is equals to 2, in this case, we'll get the augmented matrix as this. AB is equals to, first row is 1, 1, 1, 1, then 0, 1, 3. And see here, you have actually lambda minus 1. But if you take lambda is equals to 2, it becomes 2 minus 1, 1. And then the last row is completely zeros. Now see, from this augmented matrix, let us back write what you call the equations. If you write the equations, we'll get the equations like this. X plus y plus z is equals to 1. Then y plus 3z is equals to 1. See, again the same story. You have only 2 equations, but there are 3 unknowns. Because one unknown is extra, let me take that extra unknown as some k. So when I take z is equals to k, from this we'll get y as now 1 minus 3z, you see. So it is 1 minus 3k. So therefore, from this we'll get the value of x as, see, it is 1 minus, see the same story, 1 minus y minus z. So 1 minus y is this time 1 minus 3k minus z is k. So if you can simplify this, see what happens, 1 minus 1, 0, and then minus of minus 3k minus k. So we'll get the value of x as simply 2k. So when it is this, what will be the solution now? Therefore, the solution in this case, capital X is equals to, x is 2k, y is 1 minus 3k, and z is k. So like this, we can find the solutions of system of equations. Right? So that's how we can find out the solutions of system of equations.